was arrested by, looks like Atlanta Stockbridge police, that is, November 10th, booked into the Henry County Jail for second-degree cruelty to children. The church we're talking about is 2819. The church we're talking about is 2819. The church we're talking about is 2819. This one is really making the rounds on social media here. Everyone wants to know more about the Atlanta megachurch pastor accused of is out of a job after being arrested on a child cruelty charge. So taking a closer look at what we know about this one now for you. According to our records, 42-year-old Kenneth McFarland was arrested by, looks like Atlanta Stockbridge police, that is, November 10th, booked into the Henry County Jail for second-degree cruelty to children.
It's difficult because we are all infected by sin.
The church we're talking about is 2819. That's where he worked. He was suspended and then terminated November 18th once they got word of the arrest, is what we're hearing from them. So they posted a statement on social media. They said the crime involved the, quote, physical harm of a child in his family. The church said that it wouldn't tolerate any kind of violence, especially involving kids. Church leaders said that they'd continue to support his wife and children, and basically they asked people not to engage in, quote, gossip and speculation surrounding the case. But according to a police report that was obtained by USA Today, the former pastor's son was taken aside at school when an assistant principal noticed blood on the boy's pants. The report suggests the boy's father had struck him with a power cord from a gaming system. McFarland allegedly hit him because he had received in-school suspension, is what we're hearing about this from USA Today. So police also discovered bruising on the boy's upper right thigh, lower buttocks. That's according to the report. So a pretty terrible situation here all around. But as far as what's next, the now former pastor was granted bond in the amount of $2,500, and McFarland's case remains under investigation. But this has been quite the firestorm for 2819 Church. Again, them releasing a statement saying they are aware of what's happening and going on to make sure everyone knows this pastor, 42-year-old Kenneth McFarland, is no longer employed by the church.
It's difficult because we are all infected by sin.
I know that these churches, these mega churches, otherwise, they can be sponsored on trips to, these, like, they're well taken care of. They go over on these overseas trips by these organizations that purport to be alliances. And they said, yes, actually, this was one of these trips. It was sponsored by an organization called Eagle Wings, which is a quote unquote alliance between Christians and Jews.
This is the Mount of Olives. It is a small mountain just outside the city of Jerusalem. I took this picture, or somebody took it of me, in December 2018 when I had an encounter with God that changed my life forever.
Today is September 22nd. I'm in Australia. That means I'm one day out from September 23rd. The big day we've all been waiting for, to see what will happen. And everyone wants to know, what will I do if the rapture doesn't happen? I've been avoiding it for the most part, but I was always going to address it. I think it might just be the number one most frequently asked question in my comment section these past couple of months, especially these last couple of weeks. For some people, it's been a question of genuine concern. That's very few people though. Genuine concern for me, a small minority of people, which I appreciate. I appreciate those people. For a lot of people, it's been a question of my character. What's he gonna do? Is he going to be honest and open and admit that he was deceived? If the 23rd and 24th of September comes and goes by and I'm still here, on the 25th of September, if I'm still here, I will upload an apology video to everyone that I convinced there was going to be a rapture.
There is an event spoken of by the Apostle Paul in 2 Thessalonians, where he says, I don't want you to be ignorant. But the Lord will descend with the voice of a trumpet. The dead will rise to meet him in the air, and those of us who are alive will be, watch his words, caught up to meet him in the air. Theologians call this the rapture of the church. Everybody knows it's going to happen. We just don't know when it's going to happen. We see a prototype of the rapture in the book of Revelation. Revelation 1, 2, and 3, Jesus is talking about the church. Revelation 4, he says, come up hither. Revelation 5 through 19, 20, no talk of the church until the Lord returns. And so the event on God's prophetic timetable that sets the stage for the coming of the Antichrist and the tribulation is the rapture of the church. The catching away of those of us who are saved. Now watch, there is nothing left on the prophetic timetable for the rapture to happen.
And then it happened, something happened, and I felt so bad that I cried and cried. Yes, I felt so bad, 'cause I really tried.
Alrighty, folks. The rapture didn't happen like I said it would, and I promised that when it didn't happen, by the time that I said it would, that I would upload a video of me publicly apologizing and repenting of my failed prediction. And I want to acknowledge that it wasn't me saying it might happen. No, I was like fully convinced and repeatedly said in all of my videos that a rapture would happen sometime on September 23rd or the 24th or across both dates because of time zones, and maybe even cross into the 25th. At time of recording this, it's 9:45 a.m. the 25th of September. The rapture hasn't happened.
Jesus was not a black man, he was an ethnic Jew and had skin like brass and hair like wool. And as I watched the people in that room, some maybe thousands of them, run on with that garbage that was coming across the pulpit, listen to me, my heart was broken as I thought to myself, look at all of these unsuspecting sheep that don't read the scriptures for themselves and that have no idea what they're listening to right now is heresy and the doctrines of devils from a false prophet. No, let me talk heavy for just a second. For everybody that think he's the baby in the manger, no, he's the one that got eyes like fire. And who's wearing a robe that's been dipped in blood. Who got a tattoo on his thigh that says King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.